Bitcoin's Michael Saylor shocks the world with a $184 per XRP token price prediction, and that's on the conservative side. Over the last few days, the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville, Tennessee has seen some major names like Donald Trump, Ron F. Kennedy Jr., Cathie Wood, and even Edward Snowden. But it was Michael Saylor right here that recently shocked the crypto world with an insane price prediction for Bitcoin, XRP, and the entire crypto market. Now, as a quick refresher, Michael Saylor is considered a Bitcoin evangelist and one of the most influential personalities behind Bitcoin. He runs a public company called MicroStrategy that holds 226,331 Bitcoin, which is more than any other public or private company in the entire world. He has so much conviction in the future of Bitcoin and crypto that he's not only even accumulated Bitcoin since 2020 in September, but he's never sold a single coin. This has said to have convinced Elon Musk to go ahead and buy Bitcoin. So what's his insane price prediction, and how can we interpret what that means for crypto markets and XRP? Well, in this video, we'll discuss more of a conservative target for XRP based on the information that he shared recently at the 2024 conference and whether or not that's likely to happen, alongside how we can come to that conclusion. So if you're feeling blessed, comment 777. If you're feeling bullish, comment 777. And if you are going to be the richest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that the opinions in this video are for informational and educational purposes only and do not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. All investments, including cryptos, carry risks and potential losses. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor. We are not licensed financial advisors, and relying on our content for financial decisions is at your own risk. By watching this video, you agree we are not responsible for any losses or damages, and we do not guarantee any specific results or outcomes. Some of the links below may be affiliate links, and we may earn a commission, which actually helps support this channel and helps us to create value-based videos like this. We also hold some positions in the cryptocurrencies that we talk about, but that's only because we do what we believe in. However, this should not be interpreted as a recommendation for you to do the same. With that said, let's get into the video. Okay, now before I have some haters hopping on in here and explaining how, well, Michael Saylor is a Bitcoin maximalist and he never mentioned anything about XRP, to which I would say I totally agree. But it's less about what he said and more about what he didn't say, and ultimately how big this market is really going to become based on his projections. So in this keynote, he explains the future of Bitcoin and what the price targets are based on just global economic growth, expansion, inflation, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and watch the video.
And now let's come back to my chart here. Global wealth, we can look at it like this, and we see the little Bitcoin, square in the left corner. But what's happening? Here's my macro Bitcoin forecast. It's 21 years. Goes out to the year 2045. What do I think will happen? Well, I've got a bear case and a bull case, but what I think will happen is that 55% ARR goes to 50%, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. It's between 50 and 20. It'll gradually decelerate till it's growing about twice as fast as the S&P index. And at that rate, Bitcoin's $13 million a coin in the year 2045.
Now think about how insane that price is. $13 million per Bitcoin. And more importantly, what does that even mean for something like XRP? Well, let's just go over the numbers here and then I'll go ahead and explain that here shortly. What he's talking about is by the year 2045, which is a 21-year price forecast, and based on inflation and, like I said, the current state of the world, arguably, right, it's going to become less valuable, the dollar, which means that as the price of Bitcoin goes up in value based on supply and demand economics, typically more money is going to flood into that as currencies become debased. And so this totally makes sense. Now, I do believe the purchasing power of a single Bitcoin at $13 million will still be pretty wildly crazy, but I would argue that $13 million would be nothing near what it is today. So his bear case is $3 million per Bitcoin by that year. His bull case is $49 million. But what I'm really looking at and what I'm after is the market cap. What he's saying in the base case, the actual market cap of Bitcoin would be $280 trillion. On the very low end, $68 trillion, which is still like an insane multiple from here. It would be an ARR of 21% per year. Over here, we have $1,000 trillion, which is actually a quadrillion dollars. So most often, right, cryptocurrencies and the crypto market don't just hit the bear case. They don't even just hit the base case. They usually are somewhere in between these numbers. But I'm going to go with a conservative base case that if Bitcoin was a market cap of $280 trillion, what would the general market cap of all of crypto be? And how does that relate to XRP? So if you're not totally new to crypto, by now you probably know that if Bitcoin is doing well and it's pumping, then chances are other cryptos are doing well and they are also pumping, right? Because they are involved in the same market. Bitcoin being the first mover, typically the mothership of crypto. If Bitcoin is considered a risk on asset by asset managers, then they're typically dumping it. His base case in theory is it's no longer going to be looked as, just an asset that is here today in a bull market and then something that you want to dump into a bear market, but something that the majority of institutional players, fund managers, and people like me and you will want to hold as digital real estate into the future, where it actually not only retains its value, but it grows in its value relative to the rest of the markets. So that being said, we're at a very small total market cap of about $2.42 trillion, whereas Bitcoin is sitting at about $1.3 trillion of the total market cap, while Ethereum is sitting at $425 billion. Stablecoins take about $157 billion, and then literally everything else is only $553 billion. XRP accounting for about $33 to $36 billion any given day. So it's a very small market cap, but what I'm really after is the total market cap, looking at that relative to Bitcoin, and then looking at XRP's market dominance to see what's potential and likely in terms of an outcome for XRP in the future. So right here, we have the Bitcoin market cap dominance. This means back in the early days in 2014, as you can see here, Bitcoin actually was the major player in the crypto market and dominated the market, holding a market share of like 98 to 95% of all of the money in the market. And then we had the ICO craze and the altcoin craze, and XRP coming into number 2 and actually overtaking Bitcoin for a very short while in terms of market cap, just for a very short while, by the way. Then it dropped tremendously in 2018 because a lot of money was flowing into altcoins. And so the total market cap of Bitcoin accounted for about 35% of all the money in the crypto market, right? Then as people dump all of their altcoins and the market starts to cool off, and it's usually a bear market, Bitcoin dumps less while they dump more, which is what accounts for the rise in this dominance. Then typically when we have an altcoin season, this thing continues to dump. So back in May of 2021, if you look at the majority of altcoins, they were pumping very hard. So that's to be expected. But since this point in time, and since the lows of 35 in September of 2022, Bitcoin has continued to maintain its dominance. And currently we're sitting at about 56% market dominance. That means if we have a $2.42 trillion market cap, Bitcoin is 56% of all of the money in the crypto market. But again, when we look at Michael Saylor talking about a base case of $280 trillion in Bitcoin alone, and Bitcoin accounts for the majority of that money, then what does that leave left over for the rest of the market? What market cap will XRP potentially hit? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a VWAP, which is a volume profile, and it's anchored to the actual price, okay? Not going to explain exactly how all of that works, but I'm going to do it after altcoins started entering the market in 2017, because back here, it's not really fair to say that Bitcoin had any real competitors, and that's proven in its dominance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a VWAP right around there, and this will kind of give me an average price through this entire range. And as you can see here, we're sitting at about 52.84. We'll just, average that out to about 53%. That means on average, Bitcoin is 53% of the total market cap. In other words, if Bitcoin hit $280 trillion, how much total money is in the entire crypto market by that period of time? So I went ahead and did the math. If Bitcoin were to hit his base target, of arguably more conservative target in terms of how Bitcoin and crypto have performed, then all of crypto, the entire total crypto market cap, would be about $528 trillion, give or take. And the reason for that is because we are calculating the average of 53%. In other words, if you were to multiply $528 trillion by 0.53 or 53%, you come out to the total market cap of Bitcoin. And that would be your given average, which means, okay, now we have something to work with. The total future market cap in 2045 of all of crypto might potentially be $528 trillion based on what we look at now in terms of the data and the numbers. So then that leaves us with the total market cap dominance of XRP. In other words, at the current market cap of $2.42 trillion, XRP accounts for 1.5% of all of the money in that. Now, if you look at this current chart, it does look really interesting how we look like we've bottomed out at 1%, and now we're probably going to climb back up into this 3% range. That remains to be seen, but it does look like the market cap dominance has bottomed out, which is a really good sign for XRP in terms of its future performance. But again, I'm not really after bottoms and tops. What I'm after is averages. And so I went ahead and actually created a tool to see the actual average over a sustained or the entire period of time since its inception in like February or January of 2014. And as you can see here, we had some major pumps where XRP was 20% of the total market cap in 2015. It was 31% in 2017. And then it's, dumped pretty hard throughout this range. The average has been about 4.5%. When I plugged in the average performance into ChatGPT for every single year, they gave me about a 4.25%. Then I could argue, okay, well, it looks like, it's really interesting and weird how we have what seems to be a support here and then a resistance at this average line over the entire history of XRP dominance. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with Bitcoin. I'm going to take a VWAP and toss it on here, and it's going to be anchored. And I'm going to toss it exactly where we broke down below this range. And I just want to see an average again. Okay, so now we have an average of like 2.5% market dominance and then up to 4.5% when XRP really pumps. So my average based on those two numbers is going to be about 30.5%. Give or take, which means if the entire total crypto market cap hit $528 trillion, I can reasonably expect or assume that XRP at some point in time is going to be worth at least 3.5% of all of that money, which brings us to a number of $18.48 trillion market cap for Ripple by 2045. And you could argue, well, that's so far into the future and we really don't know. And I would agree, we really don't know. But I'm just using all of the last decade of history to get an average. And so based on this prediction, we're looking at a strong growth for XRP, even if it never dominated the market. Now, this is not taking into consideration any new partnerships, potential growth in terms of their team and the dynamics around worldwide markets, we really don't know what's going to happen. But ultimately, we can safely assume that no matter what, right, the entire crypto market's going to grow, number one, Bitcoin's going to grow, number two, and arguably because Ripple has been in the top 10 its entire history, okay, it's not going away, which means it's likely to also grow with both of those markets. And you could argue, based on his base case and conservative approach, $18.5 trillion may be in the cards. Now, if you went ahead and did the math yourself, you might be wondering, how did I come out to $184 per XRP? Well, you have to take into consideration right now about 56 million tokens are currently circulating, which just gets us to about an average price of $336 to $330 per XRP if we stayed the exact same in terms of the circulating supply. So if you come over to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, they say the exact same thing. We currently have about 56% of the total supply in circulation. But as this company grows, as there's more demand, as you know, there's more liquidity, all of these different variables and factors are in play in the future, it's highly likely that we're going to get to that total or max supply of 100 billion tokens. So if 100 billion tokens came into play, it will, by default, like fiat currency, inflate the currency, in this case XRP. And so we would need far more demand to get the price up. So the reason I actually went with $184 is because that would be the conservative target if 100 billion XRP were in total circulation. In other words, if all 100 billion tokens were circulating at an $18.48 trillion market cap, the price of XRP would be $184.80. And again, that's a base case. Now, if XRP market dominance, let's say, declined down to like 1.5% of the total market, but we still hit $280 trillion Bitcoin, and we still hit a $528 trillion total crypto market cap, then XRP would still be at about $79, which is an insane price gain from here. So even in an environment where XRP loses market dominance but is still in the running in terms of total growth and its place in the crypto market, we're talking a 12,000% gain. In our base case from Michael Saylor's standpoint, we'd be sitting at 29,000% gain. In total, right, if you invested $1,000 here, you would have about an extra $123,000 on your original $1,000, whereas here you would have an entire $291,000 extra dollars for every $1,000 you invest. And we're talking, yes, further into the future, but I don't see any situations or environments where we get those types of serious gains in just about any market over a period of 20 years. So if you've been looking to plan into the future, you've been wondering, where should I stack up my money? Ultimately, this is not financial advice, but there's a lot of growth to be had in the crypto market and arguably XRP, even when it only dominates about 1.5 to 3.5% of the market. So if you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, then go ahead and smash that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Go ahead and leave us a like. Let us know where you think XRP is going to be in the year 2045 in terms of its price in the comments below. And then right down in the description, we have a link for you at bullrunners.com where you can discover how to earn more crypto in less than 10 minutes with the #1 play to earn XRP game. This is a great way for you to stack those bags. You can earn while you're holding that XRP bag of yours. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, my friend. Goodbye.